Hello.
Goodbye. Anyways, if you want to start a business on a budget, make sure you go to the store.
Proud to be black.
And I'm proud to be Donald Trump. You know, I've been to China. Tremendous place, really. And let me tell you, folks, there is a way to spot a bad LED sign. It's so simple. If someone calls you fat, just ignore them. You're bigger than that. If someone says your sign is rusty, chances are it wasn't made with the pricier 304 stainless steel designed to handle outdoor...
What's up, California? My name is Alex.
What's up, Maiden?
I'm Oliver.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dylan.
And together we...
Gay as fuck. You guys are gay as fuck. Anyways, we've been making signage for more than 14 years. My favorite expression in English is the one that says, never bite the hand of the one that fingers you. Something like that. And here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap.
This is what to do if a girl wants to sleep with.
Not interested. What's up, homie? I'm Tony.
Guys, so for those of you that haven't heard of this guy yet, his name is Tony. He is the most viral man on the internet right now. Move over, Mr. Tate. And he is waging war against the woke mob. He is challenging the culture, and he is absolutely winning. Today's video comes from Asmon Gold. His channel will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go check him out and support him. Watch the end of the video to fully understand the implications of what Tony is doing and how this is a greater part of something bigger happening in Western society and how that will reshape the global landscape going forward. Don't forget to follow us over on Rumble. You never really know what can happen on this platform, so go ahead and follow us over there. Our Rumble is linked in the description of the video. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video after a message from Angry's Crypto Academy. Don't forget, guys, that hard times are here. They've arrived. The ATMs are going to stop working. The banks are going to chain the doors. Protect your wealth and safeguard your future with crypto. Angry's Crypto Academy will teach you how to buy, sell, trade, and invest in crypto. We'll tell you exactly which coins will mint new millionaires and how to spot potential coins to invest in. Don't miss out. The Academy is linked in the description of the video. And also, guys, if you're interested in starting a business, don't forget to check out Angry Guys Clubhouse. We empower men with smart strategies to start online businesses with little to no investment, master finances, generate passive income, thrive as expats, and create income streams while traveling. Join us for invaluable insights and actionable tips to transform your life. Click the link in the description of the video to check out the Clubhouse and start your journey today, or check out both the Crypto Academy and the Clubhouse and start generating massive profit and preparing for the hard times that are now here. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the first video.
Is this Tony Strikes Again?
I know I don't wipe my ass and it stinks when I walk past you in public, but
Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap. If the vinyl has less than 1 year warranty...
Red flag that I seen a guy is having a mom, and even worse, having a sister.
What?
I feel sorry for your trans friends.
I don't have any trans friends. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap.
Hello.
Goodbye. Anyways, if you want to start a business...
I am my boyfriend's first black girlfriend.
If you're black, then I'm the real Donald Trump himself. China, China. I know China very well.
The first 3 things a female notices in a man.
Yeah.
Don't care. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LED sign is...
I'm proud to be black.
And I'm proud to be Donald Trump.
How to initiate physical touch with her.
Not interested. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap.
Name 5 women that feel safe being in a room alone with you.
I don't know 5 women. Anyways, if you don't know how to take your business to the next level...
If this is you, you better lower your mother tone when you talking to me.
If you don't know how to make a store sign, take it from...
Oh my god. This is so good. Holy shit, this is so good. Don't care. Yeah, some of these are amazing. I love this guy. Yes, he's so fucking funny, man.
I wish that I was good enough.
What's up, homie? I'm Tony. And provide warranty. LC sign is your best choice.
Friends, today we're talking about something super cool called pronouns.
Not interested, sir. Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap.
Like, I'm a trans man and I'm gay and I have been...
So you're straight. Anyways, watch me put it down like this. The design is very human.
So I got served today at the pharmacy and
Sir, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap, sir.
You're a fake ally, you're a fake liberal, you're a hypocrite, and I feel sorry for your trans friends. I feel sorry for your trans friends.
I don't have any trans friends. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap.
The little one asks me, Mommy, what's a girl? Mommy, what's a boy? What makes somebody a girl? What makes somebody a boy? Baby, I'm a they, them. I have no idea.
If you have a penis, you're a boy. Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap.
How someone identifies. My pronouns aren't preferred. They are mandatory.
Anyways, if you don't know how to take a business to the next level, come see us with this ultra-thin light box.
You have reached a pronoun checkpoint.
Not interested. What's up, homie? I'm Tony. If you want to start a business on a budget, make sure you go to the Source Factory.
Many people ask me, how do you use they, them pronouns for a singular person?
Anyways, if you want to order signs for your franchise stores, make sure you buy from a responsible sign company.
When I got my cake pops removed, I specifically asked my surgeon to leave the bag.
Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap.
Okay, I'm about to show some boy pictures. Be normal.
What's up, homie? Hope you never change. Come check out our perfect marquee letter.
I want to talk to the kids.
Nope. Anyways, if you want to order signs for your franchise stores, make sure you buy from a responsible sign company.
You walk into your new classroom to meet your teacher and you see me. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I'm homeschooling. Anyways, if you want to order signs for your franchise stores, make sure you buy from a responsible sign company.
I am my boyfriend's first black girlfriend.
If you're black, then I'm the real Donald Trump himself. China, China, I know China very well. I know everybody in China.
I'm proud to be black.
And I'm proud to be Donald Trump. You know, I've been to China. Tremendous place, really. And let me tell you, folks, there's a way to spot a bad LED sign. It's so simple. Even Sleepy Joe could do it.
Do you identify as black?
We bring in the studio this morning one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Shall I call you Mr.? Pepe Julia Onzima. Thank you for coming in. Good morning. Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
Anyways, if you don't know how to pick a store sign, take it from me, like this cool set of letters. At night, it will be even more eye-catching. Other shopkeepers will be envious about your sign. Any size, any color, any style is at your disposal. UNC certificates, 20 days turnaround time, door-to-door service, no MOQ.
So it's becoming increasingly clear that the woke ideology is beginning to die. Of course, these lunatics are going to be around forever, but they are beginning to get a lot of pushback and pushed out of society. Now, they're not going to go quietly. They're going to have to be arrested. They're going to have to be literally punished. And you know, they're going to have to experience extraordinary hardships and realize, well, if you go down this path, you're going to be in Tyrone Tent City. You're going to be in prison. You're going to be institutionalized. We're going to lock you up and throw away the key. You know, Trump has said that he's going to bring back insane asylums. All of these people, they're going to be classified with an extraordinary mental illness. The cops are not going to play fun and games to haul these lunatics off to these asylums and lock them away for the rest of their awful lives. When it comes to media, people don't want to see this garbage in their movies, in their media anymore. Do you remember back in the 90s where you had movies like Pocahontas? You had movies like Little Mermaid. You had movies that spoke to many different generations, or even Beauty and the Beast. Something very interesting about these movies is that one of the things is we never really talked about like physical intimacy in these movies. So you didn't have Belle hooking up with the Beast. You didn't have Ariel hooking up with the prince. These are things like it was implied, you know. The most you might see is a kiss between two characters, between a male and a female in these films, heterosexual couples. But there was no extraordinary amount of, you know, representation or discussing, you know, physical intimacy or interpersonal relationships for children. Now that's something that has been propagated throughout so much of media that people are sick and tired of it. People are sick and tired of it. They don't want it anymore. They don't want to see it anymore. And the reality is that now men are walking away from Western society, walking away from this. There are a lot of women who are beginning to get sick of it as well, because they're realizing that they're losing a lot of the power and privilege that they've gained as a result of women's liberation and what feminism stole from society. That's beginning to go backwards as a lot of the X-Men step in and say they want their piece, they want their cut. You have a lot of these dudes who are now competing in women's sports, and they're just here to get their money. You know, and it's like, little bro, I get you. You're there to get your money. It's not fair, but they're like, I don't care. I'm going to get my money. You know, think about the logistics here. To be a man, you have to basically live up to the standards and ideals of others. But to be a woman, you just have to identify as one. And that's why so many of these individuals are going down this path, because to be a woman is to take the easy road. The thing about that is that we know where the easiest path leads. The easiest path leads to the hardest life, and the hardest path leads to an easier life. And modern women, they went down the path of easy, and many of them are going to now face the consequences of going down this path and believing that they were special and that God sent them to be to be worshipped and to rule over humanity. Guys, they believe that they are gods. They honestly believe that they are gods, and now they're going to, God allowed them to reach the highest mountain so that they can fall from the highest peak. And now when they finally return to earth, they're going to find a world of hardship and pain and suffering waiting for them in destitution. Many of these women are going to find themselves in Tyrone tent cities, over in China, Honglo tent cities. It's not going to be fun and games. It's going to be a really, really tough time. Even the notion of being able to live in a shelter is going to be foreign, because these places are going to be insulated, they're going to be full, and you're going to need to know someone to get in, because Trump is not playing around, and homelessness is going to be illegal. So what we're seeing here with Tony is fighting back, and he is absolutely winning. This guy is selling signs, and this is just to be very clear, this is a master class in marketing. Learning how to build a business, build a brand, and also align it with something that that a large group of people resonate with. This is how you become a millionaire. So this is just a smaller part of a larger culture war that is now brewing, where we live in a country where most people do not believe in these things, but have swallowed these things specifically because of the baby boomers who introduced all of this woke garbage to us. Let me make this clear. This did not start with the millennials. It did not start with Gen Z. And of course, and Gen X doesn't want to have anything to do with any of this. All right. They just want to be left alone. This was all the baby boomers. They took phonetics out of school. Instead, they gave us pronouns. So kids can't read anymore, but they can tell you they can tell you if they want to be called they or them, or some other nonsense. And they took things like shop out of the school. They took home economics out, and they replaced it with Common Core. So now kids can't read, write, or do basic arithmetic. And then they say they're the greatest generation that rebuilt the world after WW2. They're a bunch of really horrible individuals, and that's why they're rapidly ending up homeless, because they lived life on easy mode, so they never really learned how to deal with hard times. And now they're going to, many of them will find themselves homeless in the streets. And a lot of most modern women who live this life as well, because women were not designed to live without a husband, they are also finding themselves homeless, finding themselves heading towards poverty and destitution. And they believe that, they're like, I will not compete for a man, because they were raised to believe that men will always come to them. But now they're finding out that it doesn't work like that. Men have autonomy, men have agency, and men have choices. All right. One of the things that men are doing is they're choosing to focus on keeping their wealth to themselves and also investing. And one of the most important things for you guys to do is to get into investing as well, because hard times have arrived. ATMs will stop working. Banks will chain the doors. And the only way that you're going to be able to protect your wealth and safeguard your future is going to be with crypto. Anger's Crypto Academy will teach you how to buy, sell, trade, and invest in crypto. We'll tell you exactly which coins will mint you millionaires, and how to spot potential coins to invest in. So don't miss out on that. The Academy is linked to the description of the video. Also, guys, you should be learning how to build a business and a brand. And over at Angry Guys Clubhouse, we teach you exactly how to do that. Here, we empower men with smart strategies to start an online business with little to no investment, master finances, generate passive income, and thrive as expats, expatriates, and create income streams while traveling. So you can join us for invaluable insights and actionable tips to transform your life. And you can click the link in the description of the video to check out the Clubhouse also and start your journey today. Guys, modern men, the average man can live happily in a shoebox at the side of the road. The average woman cannot. And as a result of this, women are basically finding themselves between a rock and a hard place. I'll say it again, the woke mob, the woke culture is losing. We actually have a video from Spike. I'm going to link you to their channel so that you can go and check them out. And they talk further about this, that woke is losing.
I mean, one of the things that people are clearly upset about, you see this in a lot of polling, is, I guess, you could broadly call it woke. The trans issue came up a lot in the US election, perhaps more than people expected. Do people have a sense that this year might be the one where things have really started to change? Because we haven't just had the election of Donald Trump, but also, something like the Cass Review that seems to have really shone a light on the dangers of trans ideology. It's become almost socially acceptable to say that this is a bad thing. Francis, even on your podcast recently, we had, the great Stephen Fry saying he doesn't support this this stuff. And Naya, what have you made of that? Is there something shifting here?
I do think something has shifted. I mean, you know, I watched a segment with Coleman Hughes and a few trans activists on CNN, and Coleman had brought up the CAS review, and you know, for once, the trans activists were listening. Like when they were presented with something that was authoritative, evidence-based, it was very hard for them to really say much. I mean, some people would still do it anyway, but I just thought that the CAS review gave something authoritative, you know. Hilary Cass herself, it's very hard to discredit her, although some people have tried to, but she's worked in this field for decades. She's a very respected person. I mean, in a way, it's a shame that it had to get to that point where, you know, something for most people, I would say, is quite obvious that we should be extremely cautious giving children these kinds of drugs. But sadly, in the situation that we're in, that was needed. But also, you mentioned, you know, Donald Trump. I mean, in his campaign, he literally said that, you know, Kamala is for they, them, and we are for you. I mean, this is really going quite hard on this gender ideology.
They spent most money on that, on those ads in the final weeks. That was where they poured their resources in. So obviously,
exactly, it was extremely effective. You know, it really did cut through. And so now, not only in 2016 when he didn't get the popular vote, he actually got the popular vote now. I think that shows that something really has shifted.
And Tom, I mean, you know, for a long time, people would try and say these issues don't matter. The culture war is just, you know, silly people on the internet. Clearly, that idea can now be put to bed.
No, absolutely. I mean, of course, the electoral upsets we've seen in recent years can't be boiled down just to the culture war. There's obviously a lot of other concerns. The cost of living has been significant recently. Also, just a general sense that politics didn't really reflect their values, reflect their wishes, wasn't responsive to actually their concerns and the things that they wanted to happen in their respective countries. But it's a kind of through line, these cultural issues, isn't it? I mean, and also I think it's something that maps quite neatly onto the kind of class base of these electoral revolts, you know, because it's in many respects this kind of elite identity politics is something that both implicitly and explicitly defines itself against the values of ordinary people. And what we're seeing is a rejection of that kind of woke ideology, something which is cutting across racial lines in the American electorate, but certainly it's something which unifies the kind of multiracial working class, because they certainly have a kind of, as well as having kind of similar economic interests, they've also got a similar cultural outlook. And that's something which was very well exploited by the Trump campaign.
Definitely. And sticking with race, actually, it's worth pointing out, I think this has been less commented on, but in a way, 2024 might have been a defeat for BLM. We started the year with the toppling of Claudine Gay, the president of Harvard, who, you know, partly for plagiarism, but partly because she was allowing almost like, you know, woke Hamas support run amok in her university, and she was essentially exposed as a DEI hire. We've ended the year with Daniel Penny being exonerated. In 2020, it's not hard to see how his essentially, you know, leading to the death of a black man would have been turned quite easily into a BLM story, would have led to riots, huge protests, would have led to him being imprisoned.
Something very strange about the whole Daniel Penny thing is this. So you had this mentally ill African-American man who was abandoned by his family. His mother had passed away, and he had been released from an insane asylum, mental institution. He was walking the streets. He was filthy. He was dirty. He was starving. He was hungry. He went into the subways. He began threatening, you know, the people in the trains that if he didn't get food, he was going to start acting out, and they were about to find out. Well, he messed around. He found out there was a U.S. Marine on the train named Daniel Penny, and he basically, along with other men, restrained this individual who had become violent. And as a result of that restraint, this man ended up passing away because of the way that he was restrained. Daniel unfortunately cut off air to his lungs, and he did not make it. But you have to remember, this guy had been a danger. There were women on the train. They were actually begging for help. They were thanking Daniel for restraining the man. And when these people start acting out, they get very, very crazy. Think about this logistically. He was then basically preyed upon by the woke mafia, by the woke mob, and he was preyed upon by the woke mafia, by the woke mob. He was arrested. He was put on trial. Thankfully, by the grace of God, he was found not guilty. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump also, since I believe, met him, spent some time with him. But after he was acquitted for everything. But the crazy thing is, can you imagine if the case was reversed? Imagine if it was a black man. had been on a train with a bunch of white people, right? And it's just crazy. And he and a mentally ill white man got on the train, and this black man was a U.S. Marine, and the he restrained the the mentally ill white man who had done the same exact things that the mentally ill black man did, and there were other white men helping to restrain this guy, and as a result of the restraint, he ended up passing away. But he was protecting the people on the train, and there were women on the train, white women on the train, telling him, "Thank you for helping us, thank you for saving us." This African American, this black Marine, and then when the police come, they put his hands behind his back and tell him that you're being charged with the control alt deletion of this individual. And it's like people would immediately see that this is a race-based situation and that he's being prosecuted and persecuted just because just because of the color of his skin. And yet the irony is that it took everyone so long to realize this is exactly what happened to Daniel Penny. The funny thing is that after what they did to Daniel Penny, if you look at New York right now, there are horrible things happening in New York. There are horrible things happening in the subway. There was someone who was basically put ablaze by a person who had come from another country maybe a couple of months ago. A woman who was sleeping in the subway, and basically a guy from another country, he was one of the migrants. Let's just say that she went up like a forest fire while she was asleep, and he basically sat down and watched his handiwork. And it's terrible, and no one intervened. No one tried to help her. Everyone stayed away. There was even a police officer that was just standing, like looking at his phone while she was standing up and you know basically lighting up lighting up the world like a Christmas like a candle. And yeah, of course, she's no longer with us. And the crazy thing is that this is the effect of what happened with Daniel Penny. People saw how he was treated, how he was prosecuted and persecuted, and now no one wants to intervene anymore. If they see something, they say nothing and they get out of the way. They walk away, or they'll even take pictures, but they are not getting involved. This is the world that the baby boomers have given us. They've given us a world of poverty, of destitution, of hardship, of division, of no humanity, and they'll just continue to claim that they were victims. And they preach accountability when they've never taken accountability for anything. They created trauma. They traumatize their kids, and then they turn around and say that every parent will leave their children with trauma. It just comes down to how much trauma. So you guys need to move on. Are you going to allow that to hold you back? Are you going to be victims? I mean, and then when you say, you know what? No, you guys are not good people. You guys you stole our futures while we were in diapers. You're thieves, you're crooks, you're vultures, you're vipers, and you're extremely abusive. Then they'll turn around and start crying on you, saying that they were actually victims as well of society and blah blah blah. And because they're the crybaby boomers, that's who they are, that's who they've always been. When all else fails, they claim that they're victims, and they're the ones who ushered in all that victimization garbage. Again, guys, you shouldn't be focusing on relationships or dating. You should be focusing on getting your money, because the economy is shifting right now. We're moving from a cash economy to a crypto-based, blockchain-based economy. So you need to know how blockchain technology works, because it's not just cryptocurrency. There's going to be other technologies that are going to develop beyond cryptocurrency, beyond NFTs. And if you don't understand how the basis of blockchain works and how all these other moving pieces work, like layer 2 technology, works, and how and multi-chains, then you're going to get left behind. So this is one of the reasons why you have to invest right now. You need to learn this stuff like the back of your hand, because you are going to basically either you're going to learn this stuff and you're going to be able to survive and thrive, or you're going to find yourself living in Tyrone Tent City, because a lot of those luxurious 9-to-5 jobs, they are not going to be around anymore. And one of the best ways that people are going to survive is just living off the interest that they're going to from their cryptocurrencies, because going forward, a lot of cryptocurrencies won't be sold anymore. All right. Institutions are going to pay people just to have custody, just to hold their crypto in their institutions. And they're going to pay them interest. Or, for example, crypto ETFs, they're going to pay them interest just to hold custody of those cryptocurrencies. That's really where things are headed. And a lot of people are just going to live off that, like how they live off their dividends. They're going to live off the interest from their crypto, and they're just not going to work anymore. So, I mean, but if you don't know how to survive those, you're not going to be able to make it. A lot of those, like DoorDash and other jobs, many of those jobs are going to become oversaturated, and many of those jobs are going to end up going away as technology begins to replace them. You're going to say technology is not going to replace them. It absolutely is. You're going to witness technology. Guys, one of the biggest dreams right now of all of these companies like Amazon is a system where they don't know, where they don't need drivers. All right. If you think that's not possible, oh, it's very, very possible. What Amazon is doing, for example, is they're actually installing a lot of these lockers in different places in neighborhoods. And basically, they'll just deliver your package straight to the locker, and you'll walk outside your home, and it's like almost like a mailbox, and grab your package from the locker. And it doesn't take, and I guarantee you, they're working on something right now where it's automated and they no longer need the drivers. You know, your package has been delivered and it's available in this in this unit. And you walk down, you go downstairs, you walk outside, you open up the unit using your phone, beep, it opens up, you grab your package and you go back in. And you know, sure you didn't have to sure you didn't, you know, it's not, you don't have the luxury of it just sitting on your porch anymore, but that's kind of a plus because now Gen Z won't be stealing your packages, you know, because Gen Z are most of that generation, they're a group of bad muffins. They're, you know, they don't really have any future, so they're going to be stealing and squatting. So now with, you know, you're going to have machines that just deliver the packages and load these machines, kind of like vending machines, that you just go and grab your package from the Amazon mailbox or whatever you want to call it. And and now you don't have to worry about Gen Z or stealing your stuff. You also don't have to worry about you know, being like, oh my gosh, I need to be home to get my package because from Amazon, or, you know, our Gen Z is going to steal it off my porch. And you don't have to worry about that anymore. All right. Or in front of my building door, or whatever, my apartment door, you know, you don't have to worry about Gen Z jacking you anymore. So automation is going to remove a lot of those jobs. People are not going to have work and they're going to be suffering and struggling. One of the best ways that for you to protect yourself is going to be with cryptocurrency, or also starting a business. I told you guys about this already. Like if you check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse, you know, we empower men with smart strategies to start an online business with little to no investment, master finance, generate passive income, and thrive as expats, and also to create income streams while traveling. All right. And when I say business, start an online business. And you can join us over in the Angry Guy Clubhouse for invaluable insights and actionable tips to transform your life. And you click the link in the description of the video to find the Clubhouse and start your journey with that as well. And like I said, when it comes to crypto is just going to become like passive income. Like you're just going to sit around and your crypto is going to do all the work for you. Your crypto is going to be making money for you. You can learn how to do basic crypto day trading. We have a crypto day trading for dummies blueprint and a crypto academy that teaches you these skills. There's also a dark horse coin right now that no one's talking about, and it's less than $200 right now. You can snag it you can snag it at a discount, and you just need to hold one of these coins. And because, you know, you're going to see how this coin is going to go, just like Bitcoin. It's going to go from $100 to 100,000 very quickly as Bitcoin starts skyrocketing and ends up going to 10 million. Like people holding Bitcoin right now are going to be multimillionaires in the very near future. Okay. But it doesn't mean you've missed out, because there's still a lot of hope, but you have to actually jump in and take action now. Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now. And something I wanted to point out, guys, I wanted to touch on was the marketing strategy for Tony. Again, Tony's marketing strategy is absolutely amazing. There's actually a video that I have from LC that delves a little further, and that we might save that for another video. But as you can see, the woke mafia is dying. The woke system is beginning to collapse, and people are beginning to push back. This is so, this is just a larger part of the culture war, and Project 2025 is really hasn't even gotten started yet. When Project 2025 gets started, you're going to see so many different things collapse. You're going to see the liberal media beginning to collapse. You're going to see pushes to get rid of their television, to get rid of their licenses, to get CNN off the air, to get NBC off the air, to get CBS off the air, to get ABC off the air. All right, Trump is going to go hard. These are people who have been there's no transparency. There's no just presenting the news as it is. It's literally just all biased. There's no unbiased news. So they've been doing it forever, calling him a danger to democracy. So they're gonna go hard. Project 2025 is also gonna push to ban things like adult content, or more so heavily restricted, so children can't get access to it anymore. That's going to be a very big thing. They're going to, both the liberals and the conservatives have been fighting to ban Only Fools, Lonely Fans. So that's another big thing in the works. A lot of women are going to find themselves between a rock and a hard place, because they're not going to be able to use men. They're not going to be able to find men who are willing to subsidize their living anymore in Western society, and they're not going to be able to turn to platforms like Only Fools and Lonely Fans to sell their garbage anymore. Even platforms like Patreon, that they kind of use as like a Only Fools Light, are going to end up being subjected to new restrictions, and there's going to have to be verification, likely even maybe even ID verification for people to access that garbage. So children won't be able to access it anymore, and a lot of men in general won't be able to access it, because they're not going to want to do the whole ID verification thing, which is probably going to end up being on every site individually, where every site will individually have to verify that the person who's looking at the content is actually 18 or older. And we have the technology now, so you'll have to take your cell phone and take a picture of your photo ID, and also allow it to scan your face using biometrics to verify that you're actually the person that you say you are. And also it will likely may even do like an age verification thing, like where it's like, okay, well, based on your picture, it does not appear that you do not look like, we don't think that you're actually 18 or you're actually 21. We think you might be younger than that. We think your ID might be fake. So it's gonna get really hard, and it's going to result in a lot of people losing access to this type of content. I know many of you are going to scream and holler and say that it's censorship. I really don't care. It's the beginning of the end. Yeah, it's like things have been so wonderful. Like we haven't been getting censored as it is. So this is a reversal, and it's going to make it harder for women to make an income from the simp economy, trying to use their bodies and their physical attributes. And because women were not designed to live without a husband. So again, Tyrone Tent City, Hung Low Tent City, it's coming to a city near you. It's coming to a state near you. And modern women will not know what to do, because they're not about planning for the future. They're very short-sighted, and they're focused on the right now. And of course, while everything is going to hell, men who are invested in crypto, men who are building their business and their brand, men who love Jesus, they're going to find themselves surviving and thriving, because the average man can live happily in a shoebox at the side of the road, while the average woman cannot.
Have you noticed a shift on the race question, Francis?
Well, I'm glad you asked me, mate.
Because, you are a person of colour from Latin. You're a Latinx.
I am Latinx. That is true. Well, actually, what I found very interesting is the paternalistic way the Democrats actually talk about Latin American people, and saying, "Oh, you should vote for us." Now, if you know anything about Cuba or Venezuela, there is no way in hell any of those people are going to vote Democrat. They're just not, number one. Number two, it's really patronizing to think that just simply because you come from a certain culture or you have a certain level of melanin in your skin, you're immediately going to defer to voting for one particular party or another. And another thing that I found actually horrifically amusing was when I can't remember the exact stat, black men voted for Trump, and then people in the Democrat Party came out and were saying that there's a problem with white supremacy in amongst black and Latino voters.
Yeah.
And at which point is it going to be
Yeah.
that is everyone a white? Are you a white supremacist?
Yeah, no, clearly. But I mean, even just on that point, I mean, when I think the Democrats were noticing that there was a shift taking place amongst black men, we can't forget that, Kamala Harris tried to appeal to black men by, encouraging them to sell marijuana, essentially.
Yeah.
And you had, Barack Obama, trying to be this kind of down with the kids guy.
He said the brothers were letting the side down.
Exactly. I mean, and, this is really treating people like in such an insulting way. And I think that a lot of, ethnic minorities clearly saw through that. But on top of that, I mean, even though this happened at the end of last year, I think October 7th also really challenged identity politics. I mean, the Chicago, I think, chapter of Black Lives Matter, soon after October 7th, put out paragliders in celebration. I think many people just saw that this is really, the terrifying conclusion of this kind of hierarchy of identity, racial politics, and where that can really get you. So I do think that the almost glorification about the sickening October 7th attacks also was a really big blow and alerted people to the kinds of politics that was festering amongst many of these ideologies.
Yeah, exactly. And perhaps a common thread is that, you can't pretend anymore at the end of 2024 that, say, supporting trans rights is just about being nice to trans people. You can't pretend that supporting critical race theory or affirmative action is just about wanting equality. Those positions now stand exposed starkly for what they are and how regressive they are.
No, absolutely. And it's interesting. I don't know what you think about this, Francis, because you've obviously spent a lot of time in the US recently, but that kind of cultural vibe shift that seems to have happened as well. Joe Rogan plumping for Trump. A lot of people who were in that kind of former liberal anti-woke space deciding to move over a lot because of these cultural issues. Do you think that's going to stick around?
I think the interesting thing, if you look at Trump, and if you take away the Republican brand, just look at the people who he's on the ticket with. Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrat candidate for president. RFK Jr., former Dem. Elon, former Dem. You're looking at it, and Trump himself, who was a former Dem at one point, and you're looking at it and you're going, well, what actually you're seeing here isn't really right wing. What this is it's something else. It's a new phenomenon. And I think what's going to be interesting moving forward is, are they going to be able to hold this broad coalition of people together? Or is it going to be too broad a church and they're going to break up once their own views come into play and also their own egos? So I think it's very interesting. Like, Joe came out in support and loads of other comics. I think Theo did as well. But the reality is, I think what they saw it as was a new dawn of politics.
And but I guess, does it broaden things out for culture? Is it possibly more? We're going to see more less woke on TV, less woke in Hollywood. I mean, there is a sense that you hear stories about certain projects now being greenlit, which is bizarre. If you think about it, it shouldn't matter who the president is in terms of what films get made or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to think that a lot, because these things, are commissioned a couple of years in advance. We're probably going to get still a lot of, quite woke stuff on television and so on and so forth. In a sense, though, I think the British establishment are probably like slower take up than the American one. And I think, many of us have, rightly been pointing out about the kind of importation of some elements of the explosive racial culture wars. But now we're seeing actually in America that this might actually end, to some extent quicker in terms of with the, the populace in power, so to speak. I think a lot of the kind of British establishment, still the liberal and progressives, are probably a bit slower to recognise, because you can see in the disdain and shock that almost seems more so sometimes in the UK media than in the US media.
But we haven't quite got the message from the imperial centre yet.
Exactly.
And when you see it, perhaps even worse in places like Ireland, these even smaller places that are still, in a way, they think they're very progressive, but perhaps they're behind the times by sticking with work.
Exactly. And Ireland's an interesting one because in terms of its sort of electoral politics, it hasn't had the kind of rupture, the kind of break that we might have thought of. But there was that referendum earlier in the year, you know, the family and care referendum, this attempt to rewrite the Irish constitution, supposedly along more woke lines, and that was flatly rejected. It, you know, precipitated the fall of Leo Varadkar. So when given an opportunity to say enough of this, it seems like voters across the piece are taking it, even if their political elites are slower to catch up.
I mean, guys, there you go. There you really go. We're really beginning to see a major cultural shift right now. You know, and guys like Tony are waging war against the woke mob, and they are winning. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Do you agree that this is a massive cultural shift? This is a massive cultural change that is going to continue to rescape the landscape. And of course, while it will have benefits, while it will have significant benefits for men, it's going to have a lot of women that are going to experience many hardships because they were a part of that woke regime. They believed that they were going to have some type of special position in the woke chamber of commerce, right? And now they're finding that they're basically left between a rock and a hard place, as many of the same people who, you know, made them these promises will be heading off to prison. You can see with USAID, we were being robbed blind, and all of this money, this is the largest money laundering operation in the history of the world. All of these people like Nancy Pelosi were funneling money to themselves. Nancy has like a $250 million net worth, evidently. Where did she get that money from? She's not a celebrity. She's not a celebrity. She's not an athlete. Where did she get that kind of money from? They're like, oh, well, she and her husband, they're involved in real estate and all this other stuff. That's just where they put their dirty money to further wash their dirty money. So, for example, after funneling that money from the United States, they had to further wash that money. So how did they wash that money? They washed it through real estate. They washed it through businesses that they created. And then they acted like like they were self-made. Where did the initial investments come from? These are really nothing more than shell companies and money laundering businesses so they can wash their dirty money. And they've been doing this for decades. People like Chuck Schumer. Why is Chuck Schumer worth $75 million a year when his take-home salary is like something like $210,000 a year? It's because he's been washing dirty money. All of these people are dirty. All of these people are crooks. And women basically align themselves with these people who are like, oh, well, we'll give you everything you want. The reality is they don't realize that what these people did was they stole their futures for instant gratification in the present. Okay, so women are very short-sighted. They look at instant gratification. They're like, oh, this is great. You know, that's why a lot of women are on OnlyFools and LonelyFans right now. They don't comprehend that they've basically thrown away their futures for instant gratification in the present. No man is going to want to get married to them. No man is going to want them to be their girlfriend. No business is going to want to hire them after they've had a history on OnlyFools, LonelyFans, and they can't hide it anymore. Because the moment that they're on OnlyFools and LonelyFans, their tax returns will now forever say that, hey, they worked for OnlyFools, or OnlyFans, OnlyFools and LonelyFans, and they're going to have to, and companies are just going to say, yeah, we're not going to hire you. You know, they threw everything away. All right, so it's how it is, and honestly, I'm not crying for them, and neither should you. Let me know your thoughts on this. That, you know, right now there is a war being raged against the woke mob, and we are winning. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.